All right, so there is a massive shift happening in the digital world, and we're about to dive into exactly how you can master it. We're talking about building a first-party data strategy for this new cookieless era.
You know, the tracking methods that we've all leaned on for years, well, they're going away. So I have to ask you directly, are you really ready for what's coming next?
And let's be real, for a lot of people, the answer is probably no. And that fear is totally valid. It points to a future with less data, weaker ad targeting, and campaign results that just don't hit the mark anymore. This is a huge concern for so many brands out there.
But here's how we need to start thinking about this. The old way, that was all about renting data. You are completely dependent on platforms like Google and Facebook. The new way, it's all about ownership. It's about shifting from being vulnerable to every little change to being resilient, powerful, and in full control of your own future.
So how do we get that control? Well, the answer is probably sitting right under your nose. It's in your untapped goldmine of first-party data. This is the absolute key to thriving in this new world, not just surviving.
So what exactly is first-party data? It's really simple. It's just the information you collect yourself, directly from your audience and customers. There's no middleman. It comes straight from them, and just as importantly, with their permission. It's all built on a direct relationship.
And look, this isn't some high-level abstract idea. We're talking about real, tangible stuff that you probably already have. Things like your email list, what people are doing on your website, what they've bought before, how they fill out your forms, and even the direct feedback they send you. It's all right there for the taking.
And here's why this data is so much better. Because it comes straight from the source, your actual user. It is unbelievably accurate. It's super reliable. And because of that, it's incredibly valuable. You're not guessing anymore. You're getting a direct signal from your audience about what they actually want.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now, let's get to the fun part, the how. We're going to walk through a simple blueprint, a clear 5-step strategy that you can start putting into action.
So here's the whole plan, right here on one slide. First, we'll build collection points. Second, we'll create a value exchange. Third, we're going to centralize all that data. Fourth, we activate it for personalization. And finally, number 5, we build it all into a long-term system. Let's break each of those down.
Step 1. First things first. You can't collect data if you don't give people a place to actually share it, right? So you need to strategically create spots all over your digital properties where users can basically raise their hand and say, hey, here's my info.
And this can be anything, really, from a simple newsletter sign-up form to a more in-depth lead magnet like an ebook or a checklist. You could use account registrations or even fun surveys and quizzes. Every single one of these is a doorway for collecting that valuable consent-based data. Okay, step 2. And honestly, this might be the most crucial piece of the entire puzzle. People aren't just going to hand over their data for nothing. You have to offer them something genuinely valuable in return. Think of it as a transaction, a give-to-get model. It's a really simple exchange. You offer a free resource, you get an email address. But you can think bigger. Maybe you offer some exclusive content, and in return, you learn about their preferences. Or you give a special discount, and that tells you about their intent to buy. You provide personalized recommendations, and you get rich behavioral data back. See? It's a total win-win. Awesome. Step 3. So now you've got this data flowing in, but if it's just scattered across a dozen different spreadsheets and platforms, well, it's pretty much useless. The next critical step is to pull it all together into one central system, like a CRM, so you can get that single, unified view of each customer.
So what does this system actually do? It's pretty straightforward. It stores all that customer info, it tracks their interactions with you over time, and this is the important part, it lets you intelligently group them into different audiences so you can talk to them in a much more relevant way.
Step 4, this is where the magic really starts to happen. See, data just sitting in a database has potential, sure, but activated data, that's where the power is. Now we get to use all that organized, centralized information to create truly personalized experiences for our users.
This means you can send email campaigns that feel like they were written just for one person. You can show customized website content that actually matches their interests and run ads that are genuinely helpful and relevant. And hey, a little pro tip, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini to analyze all this data and scale your personalized messaging in ways that just weren't possible before.
And finally, step 5. And this is so important to remember. This is not a one-and-done project. This is a fundamental shift in how you operate your business. You're building an engine an ongoing system that just gets smarter and more powerful the longer it runs.
Just think of it like a growth cycle, a flywheel. You're continuously collecting new data, which lets you update your customer profiles, which lets you refine your audience segments, which lets you improve your personalization, which then helps you collect even better data. See? Each turn of that wheel makes your marketing more and more effective.
So let's just zoom out for a second and look at this new reality. What we're talking about isn't just about data collection. It's about taking direct, hands-on ownership of your company's growth.
If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The end of third-party cookies is not a limitation. It's a massive opportunity. It's forcing all of us to stop just renting audiences and to start actually building them, to create stronger, more direct, and way more valuable relationships with our customers. So just remember that 5-step framework. You're going to build those collection points, create that clear value exchange, centralize your data, activate it for real personalization, and then build it into a long-term, ongoing system. That is your path forward.
I'll just leave you with this final thought. In this new digital landscape, the rules are definitely changing. But the core principle is actually simpler and more powerful than ever. When you own your data, you truly own your growth.